Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Bhupesh. Hope you are doing perfectly well. So, what we're gonna talk about today? It's again very important session on Grafana Alloy that we have not done so far, and that has been a popular ask from my fellow colleagues and my few of the users that are regularly following this channel. So, what is the ask? So, ask is suppose you have a Kubernetes based application, Spring Boot application, or any other application, microservices application that is deployed on cluster. Okay. And the Grafana Alloy should be able to capture the application matrices, logs, and traces, or basically 360-degree of monitoring, and then send those things to the relevant Prometheus, Loki, and Tempo, right, to the LGTM stack. But with the help of Grafana Alloy, not with the help of telemetry that we have shown in other previous lectures. First, and today we'll be using a Grafana Alloy, a fully automated Helm chart. See why I'm using Helm chart, so that it is easily portable and then send it to any other environment. You know, totally agnostic methodology. So what we will do, we will first of all install the application in one of the namespace, and then from that namespace we'll send the modify the configuration of Alloy to capture the matrices from that matrices logs and traces from that application. It would be really live data that will traverse, and then we will send all those data to LGTM stack. In this case, I'm using Grafana Cloud, so that you don't need to worry about creating Grafana, Prometheus, and Loki, and you can replace these URLs with any of your environment related URLs. Okay, for LGTM stack. What all we have done, quick recap in the same playlist. We have done all the setup on Ubuntu, like getting the matrices from uh, Kubernetes, but all about infrastructure details we have done. We have not done anything on application side. Today we are checking the application level setup on a Kubernetes based cluster, which is a very popular ask. So let's get started. Let's not waste any further time. Before we start, do not forget to like and subscribe the channel. Post down in the comment section if you want anything extra to be covered. But yeah, let's move further then. You know, then let first of all let me just close all the things that are not there. I'll open a GitHub page which I am having my all documentation for this session. So I'm using this uh, app monitoring. So I'll be publishing this MD file into my description of this video. This is what we will be following it today, and the same has been opened in my VS Code, right? So let's get started. So definitely we have talked about what is Grafana Alloy. Grafana Alloy is a vendor agnostic agent that is replacing Grafana agent from 2025. So better to replace the Grafana agent with Grafana Alloy ASAP. If you have not done it, please do it. Do all your POCs. Okay. So what we'll do, we'll be using a Minikube cluster, single node cluster on for this complete exercise, and we'll be using Grafana Cloud to send the data to LGTM stack. First of all, first step is really simple. We need to have a Minikube cluster. If you don't have it, just follow the other videos from the same different playlist to get a Minikube cluster. And then once you have a Minikube cluster, let me see whether my cluster is up and running. Uh, yes, my cluster is up and running. I'm on to my this open telemetry demo namespace. Do I have anything in this? No, it is completely empty. Okay, so this namespace is completely empty. We'll be doing all the installation and configuration in this namespace only. Okay, and this is my uh, GitHub document that I'm referring here in this case. Okay, first of all, I will install Node Exporter. Now I we are installing Node Exporters just to capture the infrastructure data for this cluster, so that I can get the infrastructure matrices also. So what we are doing today, first of all, we will get the infrastructure health of this cluster and the application data for the same cluster, right? Let me see whether the node exporter has been successfully installed or not. I'll do a kubectl get pods. My node exporter pod is running. It should running a service also. Service is also running. Okay, perfect. We should be exporting the matrices on 9100 slash matrices. Oh, fine. So we have a node exporter. If you really want to see the matrices, you can simply say okay port forward, and then you know copy this node exporter service just to shall be going up bit slow. Okay, my width something is running. I'll just stop this node exporter. Fine. I'll be going a little bit slow to make sure that you understand what we are doing it. And in case of any queries, just pause the video and then ask that query into the uh, comment section. I'll just try to help. Okay, so this is node exporter. Node exporters properly exposing the cluster health matrices onto the endpoint. Now I will scrape this endpoint and send this endpoint to the Grafana cloud. Okay, let's move further. What is the next step we need to do? We need to install Alloy helm chart so that it can install the vanilla version. I'm not doing any changes in the configuration as it is. So you need to add this helm repo add and upgrade of Grafana, which is having the all the Grafana helm charts, and then I'll install the Grafana Alloy helm chart vanilla version. When I say vanilla, I'm not modifying anything. Whatever is coming from the GitHub, I'm just installing it as is. So you see, I've installed it as it. Let me see the kubectl get pods. The Alloy pod is running and it is fine. Now I will install my application. Now this is the important step where we need to, configure the application. So now the one thing which I want to show you before I install the application, this is my Alloy service that is running, which is running on port number 12345. It is an independent uh, service that is running from Alloy Helm chart. Now let me go back and then install my application. So I'll go to cd app traces. Now inside this folder, now I'm installing a small Python based application which is already instrumented. I'm using one of my, well wishers image which is already instrumented, and then it will send all the hotel collector data onto this config map. This is my hotel exporter OTLP endpoint. Now why it is allowed? Because what I've been doing, capture matrices, logs, and traces from this application, send it to the gRPC port of 4317, which I will expose in few minutes. So this is the service that I'm talking about here. This is the service I'm talking about. So currently it is exposing only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 port. I will expose this port again in a while. Just hang on for a few minutes. So let me install this application and then we'll see whether the application is running or not. So I'm going back to my documentation again, and I'll just do kubectl apply -f dot. This will apply whatever manifest we have in this folder to the same cluster, right? Okay. So let me see what all has been installed. Okay, pod is running, and there should be service that should be running. So there's a service running of this application. Let me see this application, Swagger based application. Uh, okay, my application is also running now. It is exposing on port number 8000. Okay, so application is also running. So we'll talk about this application. We'll do some transactions in a bit. First of all, let me go back to the main, funda or main crux of this video. Just concentrate on this part, which is very, 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 very important to understand. Now, I've installed my application separately. I've installed Alloy vanilla version without modifying the configuration. Now I will configure my Alloy to capture the data from the application that we have installed in step 4. So this will capture the data. When I say data, it is metrics, logs, and traces, and then it will receive everything. So for that, before I upgrade my Helm chart, I will create a config map, which is this one. So config map will get created from this file. The file is this. We'll talk about this file. This is the file, okay? So before we talk about it, let me create a config map. It is already not, if it is not there, okay? So I'm just trying to create a config map. If I need to come out of it, don't get worried from the, that's okay. So let me delete that config map, which is already there, which I created yesterday night. So now let me create this config map again. Okay, my config map is created. Okay, now let me show you what is there in this config map, which is the very, very important aspects of it. So what we are doing in this config map, first of all, it is a Grafana Alloy configuration, so purely a hotel collector based configuration. So you see, hotel call receiver OTLP is the first endpoint that will receive the data. Those are the two, port 4317, 4318. Okay, and then It will receive the data and then it will emit. Now this output it will throw, it will spit out the data in this format. Metrics will go to this section, total call exporter dot Prometheus. This is the open telemetry based exporter. Logs will go to hotel collector exporter dot loki. Traces will go to hotel collector exporter dot otlp. Okay. Now what are the different endpoints? Now if we talk about this, the first endpoint, hotel call dot exporter dot Prometheus dot default, it is nothing but your Prometheus remote, right? See, ultimately what I'm saying, first of all, collect the matrices on this exporter and then send it to the Prometheus remote. And what is this Prometheus remote? It is nothing but your, Grafana cloud remote, right? Okay. You see, this is the Grafana cloud remote, right? I'm doing, I'm specifying my name of the Prometheus. This is on Grafana cloud. These are API keys. And then if you are having any queries and understanding how to send data to Prometheus cloud, you can just watch my first session in the same playlist. Okay, so how to send data to Grafana cloud, the bare minimum data. So I am using the Prometheus endpoint of Grafana cloud with authentication also. That is the reason I've added authentication. In your case, if you do not have authentication, just give that path only and ignore these kind of configurations. So this is the first part to understand. So hotel collector will receive the data on this port and then it will limit out here. Similarly for logs, it will send to Loki. Now what is this receiver? This is the Grafana cloud receiver. Okay, where is the Grafana cloud? Below it only, beneath only basically Loki dot right. See, so I'm sending it to Grafana cloud Loki. Again, same thing, auth and this. Now third is what? The traces. Traces are going to tempo. This is this third endpoint. See, and it is going to tempo endpoint. This is the authentication. If you do not have authentication, you can simply ignore this part. And then this is the authentication of tempo. Perfect. Now you might have seen I've installed node export also. So node exporter is this. So it will scrape that node exporter endpoint which was there. So let me change this IP to the cluster IP which is there. So let me see get svc cluster IP of node exporter is 1043.6 to change little bit 6 and then 6165. Okay, so perfect. So what I'm saying, please scrape the node exporter matrices from this endpoint and give it a name called as node exporter and forward it to Prometheus remote, right, which is nothing but your Grafana cloud. So ultimately I'm sending two kind of matrices. One is the infrastructure matrix, other is the application matrices and application logs and application traces. So this is your the entire configuration no, file. I hope you have understood it. And what I am running that command is nothing. It is creating a config map, and then the config map is created from this file, the file which we just discussed. Now we will upgrade our Helm chart of Alloy with this values file. Now what is this value file? Let me see this. So value file is this one. Okay. Now what I'm saying, in this values file I'm passing, please use the config map alloy.config, and this is the key value pair. Okay. Okay. So I'm saying whatever config map I've just created, please use that config map and please expose certain extra ports for collecting the data, because currently it is not exposing anything other than 1 2 3 4 5. So I'm exposing two more ports. So these are the ports. Okay. Now I'll run that Helm upgrade. Go back, listen that thing again, and this is the important piece of your entire stuff. Okay. So here I'm upgrading the Grafana Alloy configuration so that the application, whatever application is emitting, it can read and send it to Grafana Cloud, and whatever node exporter is sending the data, it can read and send it to Grafana Cloud. So let's see it. Okay, let me go back here. Helm chart is upgraded or not? Yes, it has been upgraded. Okay, my alloy is running from 23 seconds. So actually, it is the right alloy. So I don't want to delete this alloy. Let me first of all delete also, just for sake of simplicity, so that it can pick the latest config map. Fine. So, mm, and in the meantime, let me delete the uh, application pod also, so that application can emit the uh, data again to this. So I've deleted the application pod just to make sure that application is emitting data correctly. Okay. Now my Alloy log is running. Let me see whether Alloy is emitting any errors or warning in the log. Okay. Okay. Now listening to this. Okay. Let me see the services. Now you see the Alloy is exposing two more ports, 4317, 4318. That is what we are using in our application config map. If you see, I'm sending the data to Alloy service to 14317 port. So this is the gRPC port for this. Okay, so I think my application is running again 38 seconds. So we are good. So I will do a port forward for my application and then simply do this again. I'll just run this again. Perfect. Now I'll do certain transactions just to make sure that I'm sending data to Grafana Cloud. Okay. So this is the first health check. I'm doing it, and then I'll just do another hit and try just to make sure that I'm sending data. Then I'll do this. Okay. I'm just putting some dummy data just to make sure that it should generate the traffic and send it to Grafana Cloud. This is the fine. Then let me just refresh the page and let me see, is there any error? Okay, is there any error in this which is captured in Alloy KGP K logs? I'm just generating the traffic, and then Alloy pod should have that thing. Okay, so there's no problem in this. Let me go back and see the log of the pod also, no? The application pod. Okay, so I'm just going, these are the important steps just to validate before we see whether data is going or not. Okay, so fine. So data is getting generated and there's nothing that I can see a problem. Let me go back to the Grafana Cloud. So what is my next step? Next step is to validate the data on Grafana Cloud. Okay, so we'll go back, we'll run this magic query and see what all kind of matrices are coming. Let me see my Grafana Cloud is running or not. Hopefully it should run. Yes, it was running few minutes ago. I'll go back to the explore map section. Okay, I'll click onto the matrices part, the Prometheus instance, and then I'll just do the run the magic query. Okay, I can see both the matrices. Interesting. So this is what is magic. So what I'm saying, please capture for last 5 minutes. I'm getting two set of matrices. One is from node exporter, other is from my application. This is the application matrices that I'm talking about. This is coming from that you know gRPC port, and the node exporter is coming from see, I'm getting all the JVM or server request to server response time for that application. Now this is all about matrices. Let's talk about the traces also. Are we getting any traces? Let's see. For last 5 minutes, service name is this one. I gave this service name only. You can check this service name to this config map. What is the service name? See, this is the service name that we gave. Let me quickly run this. I'm getting the traces. Let me quickly click on this. It is showing a proper, tree structure. Can I get the logs also? Let's see that. Yes, I'm getting the logs also. There's a proper marriage between traces and log with the help of a trace and span ID. See, that is what is the beauty of this LGTM stack, and that is what the beauty of doing the auto instrumentation using hotel collector jar file. And I'm just using Alloy to send the data to the Grafana cloud. I'll just quickly check couple of other traces. Is it giving that level of data? Yes, it is giving. You can get the older logs also. Now we have checked the matrix, we have checked the traces. Let's check the logs also. For last 15 minutes for that matter. I'll just do the service name filtration just to see whether application logs are coming or not. Yes, I can see all the application logs are coming in nicely. So, which is of today's date. So I think I can proudly say I'm getting metrics, logs, and traces, especially uh, matrices from two ends. One is from node exporter, other is from the application matrices. See, that is the beauty of this. Okay, let me copy paste. Why my paste is not working? Okay, yeah, I'm checking it again. I'm getting the complete matrices from both. Okay, fine. That is pretty much. I'll take a pause. So I want to talk about. Let me quickly recap what we did. Okay. So if you have any doubts and queries, please note down in the comment section. This was a very different topic, and I've received these kind of requests how to send the metrics logs and traces from Grafana Alloy using an help chart. Okay, that too on a Kubernetes based environment. So I think this topic will give you enough understanding how to do it, and then you can quickly do a POC also on your environment how to do it with the help of this documentation. So quickly recap what we did. We first of all install a node exporter just to send the node exporter data to from it to Grafana cloud, and post that we install Grafana Alloy just to Alloy without any configurations. Okay, and then we installed our application. In that application, the point which we need to understand, it is a open telemetry based instrumented already instrumented application. The only thing which you need to make sure that you are passing these variables as a config map in your application just to start, because this will help you to send the data, and this is your TLP exporter OTLP endpoint, and this is the service here Alloy is running. This is a service where it is listening the data, right? Now moving back, we install application, then we configure our Alloy with the help of this configuration where we talked about how to send data from receiver to different endpoints, like metrics like this, logs like this, traces like this. Okay, and then we route give different metrics, logs and traces endpoint like Prometheus endpoint, loki endpoint, and then traces endpoint. So yeah, that is pretty much. I want to wrap up this video. Let's not stretch it further. So in the interest of time, so that people should not waste too much of time in watching the video, rather I would say go back to your board and then try all these things before you migrate your Grafana agent to Grafana Live, which is a must, and that will not be supported from I think sometime in the 2025. So better to do it early. And in case of any queries, please post sound it into the comment section. Last but not the least, do not forget to like and subscribe the channel. And if you have anything, just post down in the comment section. I think that's it. Good day. See you later.